If you're worried, does my solution actually work? Well, maybe you shouldn't be in that business. Right? Get something that you feel rock solid confident in, first of all. Okay? Then charge appropriately. This is Jason Kanigan, president of Sales on Fire. Appreciate you being here today. We're going to talk a little bit about you trying to compete with the greats in your field. So if you're in direct sales, you might be trying to compete with Grant Cardone. If you're in internet marketing, Frank Kern's an obvious choice. And I'm going to suggest to you today that that's a fool's errand. You're going to burn yourself out trying to do that, especially if you're a newbie, because they have advantages that you simply don't have. You either don't know you can do it, or you don't have the resources to do what they do. And they take these things for granted. It's kind of funny. People very quickly forget where they came from, and then they just go, well, why can't you do it? Okay, and I've been guilty of this myself from time to time as a coach. It's like, well, it's just easy. You just do it. It's like Q from Star Trek, right? You just snap your fingers and change the gravitational constant of the universe, right?
How am I supposed to do that? You just do it. Oh!
There, I just turned off half my audience and turned on half the other. So what is going on when you're going to a guru and you think, well, this person knows what they're doing. I'll get their information, which they sell in the form of an information product or coaching. And with that data, I will suddenly become so much better. And it's true that it will help you. However, you are lacking some specific things that they have. First of all, they have a name, right? They have a reputation. They're known. You are not. And so for you to walk into a new conversation with a prospect versus them walking into a conversation with a new prospect, the reaction is going to be totally different, right? Nobody questions whether Grant Cardone knows anything about direct selling, right? Nobody questions whether Frank Kern has got his act together when it comes to internet marketing. It's like, duh, we know that, okay? But you? They don't know you yet, right? So you've got this uphill battle to start with right there. Second of all, a system, a proven system. These guys have a proven system. They've been working on it not for months, for years. And you think you're going to come in and in 3 days, which is the average length of time I've seen people commit to an idea and stick with it, you think in 3 days you're going to duplicate what they've got? Not a chance. Okay? They have suffered, they have been punched in the face for years working this crap out with trial and error, and it has not been fun. I guarantee you that. As much fun as they make it look, woohoo, I'm having an awesome time, I'm amazing being me, right? It is not fun when you're grinding it out, when you're up at 3 in the morning, worried, sitting there trying to figure it out. Why isn't this working? And you got heartburn. It's not fun, okay? So, expectations, expecting that you're just going to breeze through now that you've got their information. Even if they give you a system that works, you are still going to have to make it work for you. And that means trial and error. And that's going to cost you something in terms of time or money or both or other resources. Okay, so get that straight. Third thing that a guru can do that you can't is force their funnel to work with cash infusion. They can do it. They have cash. You probably don't. And if you did, you'd probably blow it on the wrong targeting. So again, they've got the leg up because they've got the working system. So what am I talking about here? Okay, as a newbie, newbies are often what I call chicken little thinkers. I don't want to bother that person, or I can't set my price above $7 or whatever, right? And that is a part of the problem right there. It's probably the source of the problem that I'm about to describe here. It's a symptom of it, at the very least, maybe a cause. When you are worried about the value of what you're presenting to the world in exchange for money, you're cutting yourself off at the knees. And I'd love you to stop doing that, okay? Feel free to charge what you believe is fair value for your product or service. Feel free to do that, okay? You know, there is a market, there is supply and demand in that, but generally speaking, people will pay. There are people out there, and we've talked about this, the blinders, right? RAS, filtering out. There are people out there right now who will pay whatever amount it is that you're thinking of for your solution, if your solution actually works. And so if you're worried, does my solution actually work? Well, maybe you shouldn't be in that business. Right? Get something that you feel rock solid confident in, first of all. Okay. Then charge appropriately. Now, if you're charging $7 or $47 or something like that, if you're using paid traffic, how many at-bats do you get? How many at-bats do you get to swing at the ball and get a hit, which would be a sale, right? You get a fairly low number, right? 7. And what if our clicks are $1 a piece? Let's just take that as an example, right? If my price is $7, in order to just break even, if I have no back end to my funnel, as newbies often do not have, then I've got 7 chances to make a sale and just break even. 1 in 7. That's a pretty high conversion rate, especially for an unproven product we're not so sure about, and we don't have a system set up, and we're not too great with our targeting yet because we haven't done the trial and error, and we're new to all. You see where I'm going with all this? Okay? And if it's $47, yeah, you could get a 50% chance there, 2% chance of conversion maybe. It's possible you could get 1 sale out of that. Possible. Again, comes back to trial and error in your system, doesn't it? Now your guru is charging $2,000 for their course, okay? Think about that. At $1 a click, they have 2,000 chances to break even, and you know they've got an upsell. You know they've got other stuff that a certain number of however many buyers they get it's going to buy that upsell, right? Out of every 5 buyers or every 8 buyers or whatever, one's going to get that upsell. So they can factor all this in. And that's why I'm saying they can just shove money into that funnel and force it to work. They can throw the $2,000 at it to break even at the $2,000 price point and get a ridiculously terrible conversion ratio. Who cares? They can strut around saying, yeah, but I sold 1,500 of these things. Ooh, wow, look at the total of the money that he made. Ooh, okay? The numbers of your funnel are so important at the beginning, but they begin to recede into ridiculousness after a point because you can shove resources at them if you're successful. And that takes care of a lot of your problems. All right? Now, does the guru tell this to the newbie? No, of course not. They're not nastily withholding this information. Again, to them, it's just something that you do. Well, of course you would blow the $2,000 on getting that sale. Of course you would go all in with your poker chips. Of course. But to the newbie, that's deathly scary stuff. Okay? So that's just another factor of what's going on in the guru's mind, that as a newbie you're going to have great difficulty emulating or even realizing what's happening unless somebody like me tells you what's going on. Okay, now let's hop back to direct sales for a minute because I don't want to leave those guys out. If you're one of those people who are watching who's in a sales role, again, they're doing things that you're not doing. They have products for sale, books for sale. Do you have a Kindle book? A report? They don't have to be 100-page things or 500-page things. You can have a 20-page education report on what items are important or what things that buyers need to be aware of for your marketplace. Okay, I recently watched a half-hour video on buying RVs, recreational vehicles, from a lawyer in the state of Michigan. And I've been looking at RVs and vans and stuff like that for a while now, like a year and a half, quite seriously. And I never knew what this guy had to say about the dangers of buying RVs. Okay, now what he was saying, just as a quick aside, was for the state of Michigan, but I'm sure now at least I know to look, right, for my state here in North Carolina. I know to look. Are those dangers also present here? Do you have a product like that? Even if nobody buys it, it still goes on your LinkedIn profile. You can still promote it on Facebook. You can still give copies of it to prospective customers. And that has real value. Okay. Here in the internet marketing world that I'm a part of, we tend to believe, oh, everybody's an author now. Everybody's written a Kindle book. No, they haven't. Everybody in our circle has, because they get it. But not everybody out there in the wide world, okay? There's Lauren Green's New Wilderness is out there, people. You know, it's far beyond what we think of. There are people Plenty of people who have never seen the back end of a website. They would not have a clue what that is. A WordPress login, what the hell are you talking about? Okay? They just don't know about this stuff. They log into their email twice a week. Astounding for an IMer such as myself, who has it on 24/7. All right? But it's just reality. That's a different reality, different world. But we cross over into that world. Are you giving talks as a direct salesperson? Are you going to find groups that you can go educate and develop rapport with? Are you getting on shows to talk about what you do? Guaranteed, there are shows that are relevant. Probably television, radio, internet podcasts. There's stuff out there that you could position yourself on as an educator for that audience. And the host will be quite happy to have you on. Do you have a referral system? Are you doing what Joe Girard did? No, of course not. We can't send out a card to every single customer, Jason, or prospect. That would be prohibitive cost-wise. I can't afford to do that. Okay, I get it. That's one of those things that they're doing that you can't as a newbie. I get it, okay? But what could you do that emulates that? I hear email is kind of free, right? Okay? Start where you are. Start with the resources you are. Behave differently, and you will be treated differently. Okay? Don't try to copy the gurus word for word on every sing-song of their note sheet. Okay? Because you will stumble. It will be frustrating. But look at what they're doing. Go, okay, I realize there's a gap between what they say and what I've got. And I want to cross that gap. What can I do now to start moving me in the direction, especially mindset? Mindset is just the most important thing. If you're beaten before you begin, you will get nowhere. And then you'll, well, I kind of tried this, but it didn't work. His program doesn't work, so I gave up. They never tell you they gave up, actually. They never tell you that. They always blame somebody else. And that's another thing. If you're around people, other business owners and that, who are always blaming other people, other systems and that for not their failure to figure it out, get away from them. Stop communicating with them. Doesn't sound fun, but it's going to help you. Be around successful people. Successful people problem solve. They figure it out. You go, that's fine. I know I'm not going to succeed instantly with this. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep trying things. And if it takes me 100 years, well, as long as I'm alive, I'm going to keep working on it. That's the way to get there. So again, this has been kind of one of those lecture type videos where I've touched on a lot of topics. My main point is I want you to understand that even if you get the system the guru has, you're still going to have to implement it yourself and tweak it for yourself. And it's not going to be instantaneous. It doesn't guarantee you anything. Also, you cannot do the things that they do. They have a reputation, the aura about them. They have the resources and they have the system. They got all this stuff worked out. They're doing things that you aren't doing. They're bringing in leads, qualified leads, pre-qualified leads from other sources that you are not. How can you begin to get the mindset that they have and emulate that? That's far more important than their system. This is Jason Kanigan from Sales on Fire. Thanks for watching.